uber theocratic Christian nationalist fascist, aka pastor, but I repeat myself, am I right? Doug Wilson went on CNN, and everything he had to say about his Christian faith and the way he wants to make the United States a Christian nationalist country should surprise no one. Let's look into it.
His beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
When Doug Wilson went on CNN, they tried to paint the picture that we were going to live in the Handmaid's Tale because he wanted to bring a theocracy to Washington, D.C. as he's planting a church near the Capitol, and Pete Hegseth began attending there. Now, the flip is we already live in a theocracy. It's a theocracy of progressive, liberal HR departments that has been running this country for at least the last 40 to 80 years. And the open society theocracy is coming to a close, and CNN, one of the arbiters of this open society theocracy, is of course upset about it. But was Doug Wilson's points about Christian nationalism correct? We'll see.
New church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's Theo? In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this to say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But you said earlier,
CNN focused on the sound bites about how Doug Wilson says that women should not necessarily lead their households, that they possibly even shouldn't have the 19th Amendment, which was women's right to vote, and that men should be the spiritual leaders of our household. And that actually comes from Scripture, so it's difficult to see how they should be surprised. I guess maybe I shouldn't be surprised that they haven't read the Bible with enough fervor to be able to see that men leading their own households is included in there, and that potentially the woman's role as the homemaker and the person who can actually bring up and actually raise children in and out of their bodies is one of the most holy and sacred roles that a woman could ever have. But of course, it's much more expedient for them to go work in an HR department at CNN or to go be on the air at CNN and obfuscate all of the roles, which might actually bring them the most meaning and purpose in their lives if they were willing to give it a try, but their worldview will not allow for such things. Watch this.
And women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
so you just think they're meant to have babies. That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not.
Our government, corporations, schools, and other media all operate within a theocracy framework already. The diversity, equity, inclusion, gender ideology, consumerism. It is stepping outside those dogmas and you're punished, censored, or canceled. That is a theocracy. Only its priests wear HR badges and the news anchor suit, and they tell you how the Handmaid's Tale is coming every time that anything happens in public life. The priests are the public media class, among others, the management class, the managerial class, the Leviathan, and they see the end is nigh, and they are big mad about it. And Doug Wilson is simply one of the ones who's willing to come out in public and say it.
Do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household.
Yes.
Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
I was just
was
gonna say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
That's a great
example.
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter, agree.
Now let's talk about the theocratic framework that Christianity has brought to the West. And quite simply, the reason why CNN exists in the first place is because a civil society was framed up around the concept of freedom of speech, which comes from the idea that all people are equal image bearers of God and have equal right to have their opinions spoken in the public sector. Now, the difference is Christianity at its best offers a moral compass rooted in duty, sacrifice, and human dignity. That kind of framework has historically built trust. It's built families, functioning institutions, and a functioning civil society in the West. Their attempt to tear it down through the open society and its enemies type framework written by Popper in the 50s or late 40s, that open society theocracy, it only took 80 years to fall apart, whereas there have been operating Christian framing in the West for 2,000 years, and it has in fact led to some of the things like the American Revolution, some of the things like the implantation of the ideas of liberalism in so many ways. Now, in 80 years, their opportunity came and went, and their theocracy is falling apart.
Yes.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
When CNN is freaking out about Christian ideals running a nation, they are simply saying that their religion is allowed and ours isn't. And guess what? The results are in. Their operational theocracy has been a complete dumpster fire, and it's time for it to be removed. And I'm grateful that Doug Wilson and some of the other thought leaders in this area are speaking out and implanting churches doing the hard work of trying to bring a more moral Christian framework to the political sphere. It's about freaking time. And anyone who would object to that better not come at me and say one other thing about a politician's sin life and make that the framing of their moral character, because you already declined to engage in any moral framework that would have improved those people who are trying to run our country out of Washington, D.C.